dashed into the house. The moment was captured by the couple's doorbell camera.
What's up, the luncheon edition of news as produced by Triple N for today, Wednesday, February 15 to 2023.
Welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you're free to pick up the telephone and give us a call. You know, on our program, you could speak about anything, politics, religion, and you could also speak about Haiti. There is no question we're sorry. I mean, perhaps that's all the power we have to say. We are sorry. It is good for you playing music during the week to play that song. Haiti, I'm sorry. The buses on the road and all those in Grenada who do not agree with the position Grenada take. Perhaps it is a good thing for us to do, to say, Haiti, I'm sorry. When I was growing up as a young boy, I was told by my parents, sympathy without help is no damn good. So perhaps we could sing, Haiti, I'm sorry. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, how are you? Good day.
Great, man.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, towards that situation that went on there, I really don't know how to look at it. Because first to begin, on a diplomatic level, if someone is running away from whatever persecution and end up in your territories, I think by rights, these people should be given a hearing and find out the reason why and so forth. I mean, it's day for day. This is, I want people to stop being too political and just accept and deal with issues that we're supposed to deal with, because it seems like we continue taking these things at them like joke. These things at them is not joke. It is those things are serious. And if we only stop for one moment and put ourselves in position as those people have now been in, and then it's sad. It's very sad. I mean, we need, oh my God, we as a Grenadian people, we need to be more careful and leave the politics aside. Stop being too political, and accept the fact, face the issues. This life belongs to each and every one of us. Please, I'm asking. Yes, as I asked yesterday, if you was aware that the former police commissioner is not right now in active duties on sick leave, I don't know, or medical leave, how they term it. So I don't know if you was aware of that.
Yes, I
What
think
I'm saying is
that is
that
his case.
we
now.
had idea that a lot of those things is about to happen, and it happening in a sense that I don't know if the authority is saying to us, I don't care what you guys say, I don't care how you guys think. I'm in charge, and we're going to do what we feel. You know, Mr. Pierre, I just hope we accept it for what it is. Thank you.
Yes, scholar, and I think perhaps some of us must know that Henry Christophe was born in 1967 in Grenada, in Sans Souci. That is going up Maribo. On the left-hand side, he had a little estate there, Sans Souci Estate. That is where Henry Christophe was born in 1967, in 1767. Now, it's so easy for us to bawl about Haiti. Every time we have the opportunity to identify with Haiti, we turn our head away. As if it's two bouquets of flowers that in the Caribbean. One of them we like to watch, and one of them is Haiti. The Prime Minister was in the United Nations gallivanting about Haiti. He gets an opportunity now to show compassion, to empathize, to understand the cry of the Haitian people. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
How are you, man?
Great, man.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I just want to echo the sentiments of the first caller. Right? The radio not too loud now?
No, go ahead, you can do.
Right.
Just don't listen to it.
Yes. No, we in the rest of the Caribbean, I mean, it is just unfortunate, you know. I mean, the amount of us left here in the holidays for England, for Canada, for Trinidad, I mean, seeking a better life, seeking better conditions. I mean, and it's just, we will not turn back the Cubans at all, or maybe people or maybe the hoodie or whatever. I mean, just because these people, they're running from prosecution. I mean, listen, I don't know, but I mean, we must be more sympathetic, man, because I mean, a lot of us left here, and we were running. I mean, running for a better life, running from trouble, from hunger, or whatever it is, and this is our people, and this, Mr. Pierre, are you there?
Yes, sir.
This strange thing about it again, the rest of the Caribbean has nothing to say. I mean, why?
Well, there must be shame at Grenada, because we lead.
Huh?
People like to talk about Maurice Bishop and Erigarian. We lead. So that action must be, the Caribbean must be crying shame on us.
Exactly. I mean, to say, yes, we have to be careful who we allow here, but I mean, this is our people fleeing from trouble, fleeing from misery and starvation, and I mean, we just turn our backs on them just like that, man, and it's our people. I mean, Haiti is the first people of this, of the Caribbean. I'm thinking really free themselves from. They was not given independence. They free themselves. They work hard. Free themselves. They was not given freedom. They took it. So what I'm saying is, I mean, do we have any respect for these people, man? The rest of the Caribbean, I mean, this people are suffering immensely, and the rest of the Caribbean.
Well, it's Grenada's action. Grenada had an opportunity to lead. We had an opportunity. We squandered it because we are insensitive to the cries of everybody else.
I mean, we mustn't be, and the thing about it, we mustn't put this thing about, we mustn't put politics.
Well, this is a political issue. This is a political decision.
Yeah, but these things shouldn't have nothing to do with no politics.
Well, it's a political issue. Whether you accept people from a country or not is a political issue.
Yeah,
It's politicians have to make that decision.
What I'm saying is, our people, are we going to put politics into issues like these?
Well, caller, the decision to accept is a political issue.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, but where people suffering and running from persecution, right? Are we going to turn this thing into a political issue? Yeah.
Well, I'm just encouraging people to play the song Haiti, I'm sorry.
But listen, okay, we must do better than that, because remember.
Now, how are we going to do better if we are not sensitized?
Because listen, no. Our people, including me, I left here and I went to Trinidad in the a couple of years ago, and people. They took boat, they took plane, they run to Trinidad, they run to America, they run to England, and all this. We were glad for the opportunity.
Over 10,000 Grenadians went to Trinidad when the British took over from the French in Grenada. After Federal's rebellion, over 10,000 Grenadians went to Trinidad. So people are custom moving, but the action of the government against the Haitians are not surprising. When a government could go after its own marginalized people. I say to people, every time the National Democratic Congress come in power, they show great insensitivity to people who are marginalized. The National Democratic Congress always behave like a vulture. They go after the elderly. They go after the physically challenged. And they go after children who are disadvantaged. Every time they come in power. You could go back and look at the track record. In 1990, the National Democratic Congress fired the people on government estates. During that period of time, they fired Shotty, Lord Tall. Many Grenadians would know the character because he used to be singing on stage and doing background performance for other artists. Not even our Calypsonian shed here. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you know the decision that a man made to your own people. When it comes to foreigner, they're going to do the same thing. They go do the same thing, or even worse, because if they tell themselves they have compassion for their own people, so they will not have for no one else. But when you look at the situation in Greater here, with the senior citizens, the people, those on bed, right? The elderly, the children the young children who are to get school fee for the school. And look at how the government treat them. Right? Look at the terms they made that to the worker, to the contract workers. Right? Look at what they treat them. So they tell them that if they treat their own people so, right? Where anyone coming from outside, they go treat them even worse, wasn't how they treated the own people in the country where they can beat matter. I'm saying, something. I looking at something. Okay. There was the former president of America that whenever he did anything, he always have people come and lie and defend the wrong things he did. And even what happened afterwards, when you defend him and you find yourself in trouble and you turn against him, you know what you turn around and tell is saying to the people, don't believe nothing that person saying. They lie every day. And when you have people that are defending a government that doing wrong things to their own brother and sister, when some days to come, you go turn against that person who encouraging you. I know what God people will tell you. Don't believe in nothing what John James say, because John James was a lie.
A lot of people in Grenada, you're surprised to know the amount of people in Grenada that the National Democratic Congress pleases. There are a lot of people in Grenada that don't care about the marginalized. So when the National Democratic
Okay.
Congress action is satisfying a lot of people, I am alarmed at the amount of people that support the National Democratic Congress to go after the marginalized.
The marginalized.
You see,
Right?
sometimes we believe this issue, the National Democratic Congress have a lot of support for what they're doing. Don't believe a lot of people who is strong NDC don't support them. And I think that's the mistake we're making. Yeah?
I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Right? So, I look at the situation in Haiti. My God. When somebody like a man running away from danger, okay, like a man running behind a man with a cutlass, and that man come into your house, and you chase a man out, they don't come, and that person kill a person. You know, they go arrest you for that because you can't do that to the person. So the person to running from difficulty, running from danger, and then you don't want to go back. And then we don't speak about one Caribbean unity, the CSME. And now what I do believe a lot of leaders are stuck, but when to act on what they're saying is the opposite.
Yes, Colin.
So pay them a piece, man.
You see, that is why it's so important for us to take a serious look at our politicians. When you have somebody, we buy a cat in a bag, and the cat cannot hold rat. We buy a cat in a bag to hold rat, the cat can't hold rat. The cat scratching old people, eating the disadvantaged children food. We need to the Minister of Finance, the government supposed to change the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance cannot handle finance. And the Minister of Finance is very insensitive. Look at what has been done in Grenada to the elderly, the marginalized elderly. Don't believe everybody in Grenada need government assistance. You have some elderly people that are well off. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
But the Prime Minister still ain't even checking what he did, and I don't know what he did. He's the one that jumped in plane like boss. You know what could happen when he go where he go? Prime Minister Brennas? You don't care.
I don't think he cares. It's not in his character. It's not in his philosophy. It's not in his DNA. It's not in his culture. You don't custom with that. We bring an alien in politics. Now we bought a cat in a bag.
Yes.
And we get a result. You know? And a lot of us perhaps embarrassed and ashamed to acknowledge it. So we hoping we win the lotto. We hoping the Prime Minister going to get a change on the Damascus Road.
All right, Mr. P. Go ahead.
I think that the real challenge for us as a people, we took 9 new irresponsible individuals and put them in politics. They stood up for nothing. They never in no group, never in any organization. Perhaps the Prime Minister don't even know if Henry Christophe was born in St. Andrews in Sanssouci. Maybe he never born her. His only concept of Haiti, perhaps, is Obia. Because that is what was said when they got 15 seats against them. So the National Democratic Congress in a bitter mood. And the same attitude they had, they are exhibiting towards the elderly in our country, where they violently remove $150 from the pay. The Minister of Social Affairs, she said, yes, she ensured the people, she make them smile. In December, yes, your money will be continued. And in January, she removed the money without even giving them an excuse. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. P. And we move from selling chicken, sugar, and saltfish to Prime Minister of Grenada, you know. Mr. Pierre, we in trouble, you know.
Well, the job we do really has nothing to do with it. Remember, Eric Matthew Geary never even went to a secondary school. Is we believe, is whether we prepare to help people. And this is what is missing and lacking in the National Democratic Congress. You know? All through their life, they're not a government that seeks the interests of the ordinary man. That is the challenge we have in Grenada. It's not the job you do, you know. Henry Christophe was a slave. He was sold to a French plant. He was a Grenadian. They sold him to the French, and then he ended up in Haiti. Eric Gary never went to a secondary school. His biggest call to fame, he did this sermon as a 12-year-old boy in the church. That's all. One of the challenges we have in Grenada, we believe that people who have certificate make sense. You could only make sense if you could practicalize the certificate. It doesn't matter if you have BA, MA, or PhD. If you're not able to practicalize that certificate, you don't make much sense. And this is a challenge we have in Grenada. We choose 9 people and elect them. They are extremely insensitive to the cries of the ordinary man. One of the government's main responsibility is to look after the interests of the lower income group, the greater number. You don't have to look after the interests of businessmen or a well-educated person. You don't have to look after their interests. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir. How are you?
Great, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you can recall, Mr. Pierre, that we had a prime minister that was a bishop. Now we have a deacon. I thought, well, Grenada would have blessed us in US, but it seems to me that this deacon brings cost on us because he want to play God. And God is a jealous God. He don't want no other God beside him. I'm saying that to say that the voice of the people is the voice of God. When you interfere with the poor people and the children, imagine you're taking from the rich and give to the poor. That is a no-no, that recipe for
taking from the poor and give to the rich.
They're taking from the poor and give to the rich, so to speak. That is a recipe for disaster. So I'm calling on the Prime Minister respectfully. And if you want to take a little advice from the ground, because I know the NDC parties are party always up there, they don't care about the people down here on the ground, you know. But I give him a little advice in the name of God to refund back the poor people's 150. Because you would not be blessed by the Almighty. And we as a Christian nation. Have a nice day, sir. God bless you.
Yes, caller, and I want to echo that call as forcefully as possible. The government must return the money they stole from the people. You must return the money. And I believe the line minister of social affairs, you are responsible. You have to lead the charge to make certain the people get back their money. I believe it is necessary because over the years, I observe a growing level of insensitivity and hostility to the elderly in our country. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, great. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, we look at in the early days of the GNP. Remember the GNP was middle class set of people? And it was brutal to the poor class of people? Remember we used to support Gary was the estate workers, the poor workers, and the poor class of people. The people who used to support GNP was the rich class of people. And it's the same thing that showing the lead up to today. When you look at how the Prime Minister handling Grenada. It's the same thing, no changes. You know, like how GNP lead this thing back to NDC. And they never change. So they continue. And we Grenadian people now, we don't really understand and we don't thinking. We just listening and anything we find is bribery, we going for that. We get catch 2008, we get catch now again. When we going to learn? When Grenada fall to the bottom of the pit, look at our country, we was living so happy. Look at today, everybody grumbling. And they see balling with them out inside the house. But when you talk on the street, they want to curse you. But you know what happening with them right now? It griping them. But tell them, NNP doesn't only scatter. But when the time come around, we just get back together. So tell them, look out. They are long inside of there again. Have a good evening, Mr. P.
Yeah, you see, Color, one of the challenge we have in this country is the kind of mentality of people. And that really, really need to change. Because you have two main political parties in the country, and you want for us to go forward, for us to develop, there must be some common fundamental disciplines both parties. But you have a political party that have a history that every time they come in power, their policies, their actions, their expressions are seriously disadvantaged towards the marginalized, the low-income group. And that's a challenge because when they do that, the country economy, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. Every time they do that, the country economy goes into negative. And you wonder why they cannot think and see that for themselves. And in 2008, they did that. They spent 2 terms in the wilderness. They didn't remain in the wilderness thinking. Welcome, caller. Caller, welcome. All right, we having a challenge with that caller. Caller, if you have to try again, because we're not hearing you. Right? Now, instead of you remaining and try to dig deep, do a post-mortem and come up, you blame everybody else for your victory. You see now over the last 10 years. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, you see now over the last 10 years, you was disrespectful to the authority that be. You cost the church. You cost the church. You cost everybody. You attract everybody who was negative or against NNP, they join you. You purge out all the moderate forces around you. And you come with a political party that is vindictive, vengeful, don't have a clear policy, and a leader that is a fake. You go in the United Nations, you speak so graciously about Haiti. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my caller.
Well, how are you not say things, so? Are you saying things what all you know? I mean, I heard your program. Some of your callers saying the Haitian didn't ask for asylum. I just heard the news on GBN. They didn't ask for asylum. But your callers saying they asked for asylum. They didn't ask for it, so the immigration send them back. It's not only government to send them back. It's immigration send them back from the country they come from, which is...
Caller is the Prime Minister that made the announcement.
No, well, man, you don't know what all you're saying. All you're making propaganda. But that will make you win the election next time. No, that will make you lose more bad. Because they're talking stupidness. Thank you.
Okay, caller. You see, what has happened is that the government is hiding from the press. I beg Dr. Bob, because he is the one that didn't identify as being objective in Grenada. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes,
afternoon. I come back again.
Yeah, no problem.
And I'm looking at the real Tuntun Makut now. The real the, the deacon is the real Tuntun Makut. Imagine those people running from violence out there. The Tuntun Makut behind them with machine gun and all kind of thing, killing all the people. And some of them, my cousin and them, happen to escape. And you tell me, send them back? You have to be mad. You are the real Tuntun Makut, sir. Thank you.
Yes, you see, Deacon Mitchell speak with forked tongue. And he's going to bring immense embarrassment to Grenada. And based upon the utterances of the Minister of Labour, yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Caller before. You see, if you does not know, you don't come to talk to the public. The public is listening to you. If no one sitting immigration could send back anyone just like that, unless he didn't satisfy with the explanation, then he must have to call a supervisor. Then the supervisor must have to, there is somebody that higher have to be come towards the situation and make decisions. The sitting immigration in front, they could not satisfy what you're saying, but he have to call someone else. He cannot take on his own to turn your back just like that, because you must have some reason why, but he not satisfied with it. And he would call his supervisor, and the supervisor may call the minister, because the people must have some reason. So the people must get a fact straight. You see, I hope he understands what is really going on. Thank you.
Yes, scholar. I think one of the things we could do is to play the song Haiti, I'm Sorry. Maybe the DJ man, the radio station, the buses, or anybody who, heart could empathize with Haiti. We could play the song Haiti, I'm Sorry. Because perhaps that's all we could do. Make our voices heard and play the song Haiti, I'm Sorry. Let your little children hear the song. And even if you could tell them that Henry Christophe was born in St. Andrews, in Sans Souci, even that may help soften up the hearts of the National Democratic Congress. Welcome, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
miss.
miss.
How are you?
Great, man.
Mr. Pierre, I'm amazed at my Prime Minister. Really amazed. He too could be in the same situation like the Haitian that come over. Do you know what it's like when you have political arrest in your country? You have nowhere to run. You don't know what these people is running from. I know people in my days, they claim political asylum when they enter even the Great Britain, and they wanted a place where they cannot want to go back. They see their family get chopped up. They see they kill so much people in their villages. So they have to run, and they end up in Britain. They claim political asylum. Yes, they said they detained them and they scrutinized them, but they kept them until further notice. They could have done the same thing. If he had kept these people and he announced to the public, this is what they have, and people realize that they have these people, right, and they want to deport them, right, the people could have the right to demonstrate and say, keep them here until further notice. Assess the situation, see what is really happening to them, because for true, some of them claim political arrest and they're in no trouble. They just want to come to a different country. But if these people are claiming political arrest, right, political problem, they can have a right to have a look, not to just send them back like that. You cannot do that. And then after he's done the job, he reported it. What good is that? Not everybody's complaining, because the people are already gone. They already deported these poor people back to the country or wherever they come from, right? And now we announce it to the people. It is not right. When you claim it, we could have unrest in this country. A lot of things could happen to us. We don't know. And we too have to run to a neighboring country to get help. So we're claiming the same political problem. So you cannot do that to people. Hear the reason, listen to them, and after you listen to them, then you could make a decision. The people know, the people could fight for them. We the people could fight for them. We could demonstrate and say, leave them alone. They're calling for political arrest. Look at these people. They need a place to stay. political problem is in the country. They're running from it. And they're running to a country of safety. Give them a few days. Mr. Pierre, have a nice day. God bless you.
Yes, scholar. I don't know if the people leave Grenada yet. I'm not certain if he do. He has made the decision, but I don't know if he get a flight and put them yet. But the National Democratic Congress, their philosophy is the problem. Inside their core members, look at the language they use to describe members of the NNP. You're needy and greedy. Look at the attitude towards the elderly in our country. They deduct the elderly money. They raise the price of water. They raise the price of electricity. They raise the price of sugar. And then they deduct $150 from the elderly and the physically challenged. And another sum from disadvantaged children. Now tell me which government in the world that does that. I don't think there is any government in the Caribbean that treat the elderly and the disadvantaged worse than the National Democratic Congress. And this is not a one-off thing. This is the National Democratic Congress. That is how they behaved in 1990. That is how the manner in which they behave in 2008. And in 2022, they told the Imani in 2008 they're going to give them $1,000. The National Democratic Congress knows that they cannot win election in Grenada if they do not get the vote of the people they hate the most. So every time they go home and plan, when they lose election, they sit down and plan how to put a trap, a law for the marginalized group. So at one stage, they had an elderly man from St. Patrick's advertising the $400 they promised to pay, and they never paid when they came to power. Yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
When I tell you, when you hear these people and them do have a hat, you don't take it and make a joke. They don't.
It's difficult.
These people and them they don't have a heart.
Well, you see, it takes years to come so, and I mean, it's embarrassing, but you still have to encourage them. You still have to try to sensitize them.
Mr. Pierre, you see some people, I don't watch 51, where can a body live in the country and rolling down to America for rescue. He going by everybody and beg to help Grenada. He say he want money. That same Haiti help us in when Ivan passed. I mean, don't do us that. You people, the people run and you have to know, leave them in a hotel there. You don't offer you.
Caller.
Yes, sir.
Listen, let me read a post for you. Listen. Mr. Pierre, your callers don't know what they are talking about. They are so uneducated.
Well, who are
and that is, and every day I say, that is the National Democratic Congress.
Mr. Pierre, the people and them what they hate that what they like.
Yes.
The people and them what text in there, what they hate that what they like. If we gain something right now, I hear Shaggy give out and say, the Caribbean go face a difficulty with earthquake and tsunami. And it's sometimes the same people you suffer in there. It's the same people what you go turn back and help we Grenadians just now. Don't do this thing on them. You see them people like them when maybe they can spell, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. They have education. They're not talking the foolish talk to them. What they hate that what they like. We don't do things like that. We have to put ourselves in a man's shoes, and then we gonna know what is it all about. When you're playing big, that's how you don't act, you know. You know, some of us, because we could buy a pound of sugar, we don't care about the other person behind me, you know. You have a lot of neighbors where they could buy a pound of sugar, and you have some people who can't buy, and they don't care how you live, you know. And die the kind of people and them are doing them things and them. If you check it out, I can't help out when you see we Grenada put us in a monkey trap here. They put us in a dirty trap, and then every minute they crying, you know. You don't hear it, but they crying. Secret cry. Who beating them out? They picking up the phone and calling and taking Dutch stuff. They crying, you know. But because they could call, I don't know who phone they borrowing. They don't buying credit to put on the phone. They borrowing to make the phone call. Don't worry them.
Yes,
don't worry them at all.
Yeah.
Later.
Yes, and I think it might be a good thing for us in Grenada to play this song, Haiti, I'm Sorry. At least it might soften up the conscience of the members of the National Democratic Congress. It's a group that is difficult to understand. Why you have the main political party, one of the main political party in a country, and every time they come in power, the first group of people to be disadvantaged is the group of people that politicians that's come in power to help. You don't have to help big businessmen and people who are well qualified and are competitive on the job market. Once you have a taxation system that is not overburdened, once you have the freedom of the press and the judiciary is free. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
History have a way that it does repeat itself. Even though we're not academically inclined, but common sense is not a common thing. The only song common. Have a nice day.
Well, they like to call us stupid and uneducated. It's a common expression come from the members of the National Democratic Congress. Once you're in a discussion with them, they get personal. They tell you you're stupid, you don't have sense, you're uneducated. It's so easy to come from them out. You hear people saying, we're the good people. So the National Democratic Congress have very little respect and regards for the people in the lower income group. And these are the very group that is so important for them to win any election. So they create this law. So this, in 2022 election, they offered workers to make them permanent in the job. They informed them that if you're permanent, you could get loans in the bank. Nothing was further from the truth. As soon as the National Democratic Congress come into power, by July, they start firing the women of Carriacou. The pest management unit. The only thing I could see is if they want to sabotage the source of industry. Because we have a pest, I think it's a scaly insect or something, that is doing damage to source up. They fired a group of people that managing the pest. It's about 8 of them. 8 young men. They fall directly under an officer in the pest management unit. I think his name is Francis of Assisi. They fired the workers on Paradise Estate. I think it's 4 workers they have there now. A number of crop to harvest. I understand somebody wanted some crop, so they bring in some workers, about 5 of them, to harvest what they want for them, and they say they go pay the workers. This is the kind of government that we have here. They fire the people involved in the school system. Obviously, this was a temporary program, and at some time, once COVID-19 come back under control, some of them would have to go home. They fired them without even paying them for the last month. The Prime Minister trivialized what they were doing. He said he was disinfecting countertop and spraying hand. The Prime Minister dramatized and trivialized what these individuals were doing. They fired the road wardens. Some of the people in the caregivers, well, their job was a nightmare. They threatened to get rid of the e-money, anybody over 35 years. And then the government decided to close down marketing board. And a bag of lies. When they announced first that they were having consultation, I said it was a sham. The consultation is a sham. It's a means to legitimize the closing down of marketing board. It is not necessary to close down marketing board. The Prime Minister tricked the public. He brandished 15 million. And if you hear the Prime Minister talk about 15 million, the assets of marketing board, he said, is 18 million. And marketing board is there to subsidize agriculture. To subsidize agriculture. Over 100 people are employed by marketing board. Several dozen farmers benefit directly from marketing board. And if you have 100 people employed, they have their families. So you could multiply that by 5. If you want to reform the system, there is absolutely no need to close down the system. Particularly, when you recognize the problem is management. There is absolutely no need to close it down. So it's a trick. That is why I said the Prime Minister is a fake. He speaks with forked tongue. And he deceives the public. Look at his address in the United Nations. And when he's talking about Haiti, and he gets an opportunity now to start to champion the cause of Haiti, and immediately turn his back on them. You see, you could talk the talk, but for you to walk the talk, you have to believe what you say. Anybody could make a nice address. When you hear people speaking, sometimes they don't even write the speech. Sometimes they don't even write the speech. Somebody help them write it. Sometimes they have teleprompters reading a speech and it looks as if they're speaking out of script. We must understand that. So it's easy to talk the talk, but you can walk the talk. That is why I was taught sympathy without help is no damn good. When you say you're going to help people, you must be prepared to sacrifice. Yesterday we celebrate Valentine. And we encourage people to practically show love. Because sometimes it's difficult. It's good to talk love. Particularly if you have a good, you're very expressive. You have a good command of the language. You are an orator. You have a commanding voice. When you speak to a girl, she could pick out all the leaf on a peach tree. But sometimes you don't love her. Or the love you have for her is erotic love, infectious, sex love, no love. You don't even care how she look. Because after that, you're gone. You don't have commitment. So over and over we are noticing that Deacon Mitchell do not have a philosophy. He do not have an ideology. He's trying to make it as his goal and build up some popularity. Why do I say that? He evoked the spirit of Maurice Bishop, but you want to sell marketing board. Now, if you're a socialist, how could you want to sell marketing board? He didn't even try. He went to Cuba to hug up Daniel Ortega to get some popularity in the socialist world, and immediately turned down the Haitians. So it has nothing to do. The Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, do not have one dram of socialism in him. But because he embraced Cuba and Daniel Ortega and jump up and cry for Maurice Bishop's spirit, he attracted all our hardline communists in America. Because Grenada communists is a fake. There are few communists you have in Grenada. The rest in America, they are capitalists. But they're pretending them is communists. So they're glad they jump up with Deacon. You know you're hearing the voice silent now. If you are a socialist, you must be concerned about state assets. You must be concerned about the proletariat. You must be concerned about the ordinary man. If you are void of sensitivity towards the elderly, then you are a dangerous person. And in Grenada, for the longest while, there is a growing level of insensitive attitude and expressions and practicalities towards the elderly. We had a number of farmers got flogged or run or stoned from the land, elderly men. One of them in St. Patrick's, I said it on many occasions, was chopped up. I saw one of the cuts from his ears to almost the end of his nose. Got some wounds on his arm and his leg. He told me even the police not bothering with him again. Case don't come and he said the police not bothering with him. We had a home in St. Patrick's where about 16 people died as a result of COVID-19. And one gentleman, I think he was about 76 years old, left. I understand some women go and look for him. I don't even know the police go and look for him. If the police go, they might just peep by the road, they don't bother much. And all that is because of the insensitive attitude towards Grenadians toward the elderly. And I believe the National Democratic Congress action help expedite, speed up, facilitate that level of insensitivity towards the elderly. They alone is not responsible, but the actions speed up the process. Look at the attitude of our teachers to children in school. They decide to go to school and don't speak to the children. Let's call her welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, call her welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I have a little concern, and as a person that know a lot of the beekeeping, maybe you can help me. Now, during the course of the week gone, a number of farmers have been attacked by bees in their garden. And later on, I learned that maybe another one probably was trying to use bees to maybe as a means of security for their garden, for sauce or whatever, but the bees got out of control. One of the men, the bees swarming me almost succumbed because, it's terrible. His whole body was covered and he had to dash in the bush and, go up. Now, my concern is, is it right or okay for somebody to, think or come up with something like that, if that is the case? And I believe as adults, sometimes we ought to take into consideration the consequences of certain actions that we would take. The people around us, how they would be affected. Because even my own family, I was going to the garden and a couple bees, attacked my daughter. But I wasn't thinking about that until the story came to me later on at the end of the week. I really want us to consider when we think of doing things like that, and like I said, the consequences, because it's not nice to be in the garden and, to be attacked by bees. Try, let's use some other means. Let's think of each other. And to me, it is a growing thing now. I don't understand how people you're watching, people, farmers, they're trying to make ends meet, not going to steal. You're watching somebody with an amputee, and you're going to imagine have one little goat that you'd rear and want to slaughter at the end of the year, and somebody would go with it. Come on, let us just think about each other and just stop doing things like that, because it really doesn't make sense. Have a great day, and thank you for listening to me.
Yes, thank you, Colin. I always say you bring out the softer side in me. The issue of predial larceny is a serious one, although the police said it was about 3% of the crime in the country, but we could expect that to increase because you have growing unemployment, you have a number of people losing their jobs, you have increased the cost of living increase. Some of the fault is not Grenada alone. Some of it is because of the conditions in the world and COVID-19, the war in Russia and Ukraine, the increase in transportation. But the government here has contributed to it by the increase in the price of sugar, the increase in the price of water, the increase in the price of electricity, the drop in the money that they paid to the elderly and the children going in the school. And you could expect some challenges from it. On the question of bees, our bees here is not really dangerous, but that doesn't mean bee can sting you badly. The bees tend to defensive unless you come in contact with a apiary. You come close to an apiary. If you have your house near to apiary, the lights, the question of water, you could find bees coming in your pipe for water. And there are some management practices that could be done to be avoided. And beekeepers need to be more knowledgeable and know if you have your bees near to your home, you could keep bees near to your home, but you have to make the necessary preparation for it so it don't affect your neighbor. We are advocating to increase the production of bees in Grenada, numerically and otherwise. And it has its advantages, but you could also have some negative spin-off, and our population need to be knowledgeable about it, So that's a very important thing. We could always expand on the issues of beekeeping anytime. I am somebody who always encourage people to get involved in bees. Now that we have a lot of policemen and other people in the system that will retire, because the government policy, it is better for some people to retire from the system than stay and get frustrated. If you have over 26 years, you qualify for pension. Based upon your position, you're not likely to get promotion. If you are considered as having green blood, and you're likely to be victimized, then sometimes you need to sit down and, don't be too hasty about it. Go into consultation with the relevant departments, the unions, to find out what exactly your pension would look like. And then it's better sometime to retire. If you retire, you're practically working for half your salary. When you reach the age of 60, 61, or 65, by what NIS is, you will get your pension. But sometimes it is in your interest to retire, and one of the projects you could get in is beekeeping. And if you so choose to get in beekeeping, one of the things to do is to get in it now before you retire. So you could always work with beekeepers and get to know if you really want to get involved in that. Because bee stings. One of the negatives of bees, it stings. People prefer to go in poultry. Beekeeping have more profit. They prefer to go in pigs. Beekeeping have more profit. They prefer to do vegetables. Bees have more profit. But because bee stings, it acts as a deterrent for those who want to go in it. But it's a good system of farming to go in. You could go in beekeeping and you could stay away from your bees for 1 week, 2 weeks, and you still have bees. If you don't feed your fowls for 1 week, all of them dead. If you don't feed your pigs for 1 week, they're dead. If you don't feed your cattle for a week, well, they might break the pole and go and do serious damage. So beekeeping is a relatively beneficial and safe. I always believe that's an area the police should get involved in. I believe the police as a station, the police as an organization should get involved in beekeeping and have the biggest training facility in beekeeping in Grenada. I believe the government is still a joke where agriculture is concerned They basically wasting time. They are not doing a serious job in it. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another program of On Target. And remember, you could ask me any questions you want, and you could make your contributions. I always go back and respond to some of the people on Facebook and YouTube in some of the questions they might post or react to their posts. Thank you very much.